Wow, it's cold tonight. I'm glad I got the fire. You know, many people think that being a shepherd is such an easy job. After all, you're outside all the time and you've got those lovely summer days. And it's true that it can be a good job sometimes, but unfortunately, most of the year it can be pretty tough. You take tonight, for example, it's really cold out there, and I'm glad I got my fire. It's also a very lonely job. And the trouble is, at night time, you've got to be really careful because that's when the wild animals attack. That's when they creep up on the sheep. So it can be quite frightening because you're peering into the darkness and you're trying to work out what's out there, and you can't see anything. They can see you. Yeah, the trouble is, that's when your mind can start running rampant. You can start imagining things. I remember, I think it was probably about 30 years ago. It was a cold night, pretty much like tonight. I was around the fire. I had my friend Will. He was actually asleep at the time because we were taking it in turns to look after the sheep. And I remember looking up to the sky and I could see a bright light. That's not unusual because, let's face it, around here with the stars out and with the moon, you see lots of bright lights. But this one was very different. It started off really small and I noticed it started coming towards me. And as it came towards me, it was getting bigger and bigger. And I was thinking, what's going on here? And I was just about to wake Will up when all of a sudden the light came so close to me and then stopped. It just seemed to be about like 10, 20 feet away from me. And it's strange, but it had a face. And it spoke. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I hadn't been drinking. And it said, "Don't be afraid." I thought, you got to be kidding me, all right? But anyway, it then started to explain to me that today was a special day and that somewhere in the town just beneath us was a king had been born. And this king was going to be a saviour of the world. And he carried on, he seemed quite excited. And I kept pinching myself thinking, this is crazy. I must be imagining this. I must have fallen asleep. It must have been all the cheese that I ate earlier on. But he carried on and he said, it's tidings of great joy. And then all of a sudden, whack! The whole sky, it fills with light. And there's hundreds of these shining things. They've all got faces, they're all smiling, they're all happy, and they're singing away there. And all of a sudden, bang! Pitch black. Complete darkness. And I'm thinking, what the heck was that? And I turned to look at Will, and I thought, I wonder if he saw that. And when I looked at Will, there he was, lying flat on his back, eyes wide open, going, oh. Yep, he'd seen them as well. And I said to Will, what do you think that was? He goes, I don't know. And I said, well, it's talking about something being in the town. Perhaps we should go down and have a look. And he said, yeah, let's do that. We can't leave the sheep for too long, just in case something comes along, but let's go and check it out. So we went off down into the town. And Will says to me, do you know where you're going? And I said, no. They didn't give me an address. And they said, well, it must be, if it's a king, it must be in one of the posh houses. So we went around and we went looking and we looked around the different houses and that, and it was very quiet, it was very black, even though there's a lot of people in town at the moment for the registration. But we couldn't see anything. So we headed off and we thought we'd better go back to the sheep. And as we're heading out of town, we noticed this little outhouse. And the door was open, there was a light, and I said to Will, let's check this place out. And Will goes, you're joking. No king's going to be in that place. I said, let's check it out. So we went inside and we opened up the door, and inside was a young couple. And she'd just had a baby. And there it was, lying in the stall, you know, where they feed all the cattle and that. And, do you know, something inside me got excited. I can't explain it. It just seems crazy. And I thought, wow, something special. There's something special about this young baby. And we spend a bit of time there. They're very kind. And after a while, I said to Will, look, we're going to have to go back to the sheep. We can't leave them alone for too long. And with that, we left. And we never heard anything more. I often wonder what happened to that baby. You know, I hope he escaped Herod's judgment, because evidently Herod had heard about this king, and a little while after he had all the children, all the babies killed. That's the kind of character he is. Still, must get to some sleep now, because in the morning we're actually going back down into the town. We've heard there's a new preacher in town, and this preacher evidently is something special. People say he's a prophet. He's doing most amazing things. Evidently he can heal the sick. I even hear there's a room that he raised someone from the dead, and we've just got to go down and see him. And I'm thinking to myself, that's fantastic, I want to see this. And you know, I've got that same kind of feeling inside me once again, saying, you know, just as I had with that baby all those years ago. Still, if he is a prophet, I might ask him what happened to the baby. I'm sure something great must have happened, and he should know, shouldn't he? Oh well, sleep well, have a good night, and stay safe.